ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਹਾਰਦਿਕ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੌਰ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ CEO ਹਨ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਦੇ। ਇਸ ਸੰਸਥਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਕੌਰ ਤੋਂ। So Inni ji, now you're the CEO of SIKHRI. So tell us what prompted you to come forward and take this position, and what are your future plans?
So the role of SIKHRI, why I stepped forward, actually the answer is quite simple, because for the last 8 years I have received a tremendous amount of knowledge, love, and from SIKHRI. I have learned a lot, and now the time had come to give back. So it was quite simple for me, actually. A difficult decision personally, because there's nothing more than that I would love is to just write and paint and walk. But now the challenge is that, the organization that I love needs me, and I'm there.
This organization has progressed in a big way. From small beginnings, it is known all over the world now.
Right.
For the kind of approach they're adopting towards disseminating the information about Sikhism. People are liking it. So with your artistic background, what are you going to bring in? What changes do you think which you can bring forward, which can help the SIKHRI as well as the people?
For me, I think, it is a personal journey. And that's the way I want to approach the disseminating the message, because until each one of us doesn't fall in love with Sikhi, we cannot continue. The Panth can only continue if everyone in the Panth is in love with Sikhi.
Right.
So it's a personal journey, and I want to personalize that in a way where we say that we all are on different paths, and it's not to say one is wrong or the other, but we approach it in a different way. So we are putting together online education. We are very much strategically placed to put together courses. We have the first one which we just launched, which was the language of Qurbani of the Guru Granth Sahib, and we were surprised that within the first week the response was incredible. So there are more courses which are planned. There's one on Japji Sahib, there is one on Gurmat Sangeet. We are doing another course on the Gurus or in Sikhi. So there are lots of things which are planned, because the idea is that if we want to, and that's the mission of SIKHRI, if we want 30 million Sikhs to fall in love with Sikhi, how do we reach the 30 million Sikhs? It is only through online, while we are continuing doing our in-house presentations and everything. But to reach that audience, we need to be online, strategically in a big way. And that's the focus, the thrust of it, of SIKHRI from going forward. We also heavily invested in our publication division.
The basic problem, what do you find? What are the major challenges right now which we need to surmount? Because a lot of information is there, but that is not being reflected in the character of the Sikhs. And you very rightly pointed out how to make the Sikhs love Sikhi. That's the most important thing. So how do you foresee this challenge, and what do you plan to do about it?
You touched upon that there are a lot of courses. I would hesitate on that, because there may be a lot of courses, but I'm not sure if they're presented in the right way. And
Right.
I question whether they're Gurmat based.
Right.
They are maybe culturally Sikhi based, but they're not Gurmat based. So from what my experience has been personal, and the Sikhi experience has been, if you present the Gurmat part clearly, people fall in love with it. More often than not, I hear, and all our presenters here, this has never been told to us. We did not know it was this.
Right.
So it's that messaging, and once you adopt it within your life, change comes. Shabad is really Guru. Shabad is Guru.
Right.
And Guru chisels. When we all know chiseling it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's self-reflection. We have to look within, and that's hard. But if we don't do that, it's not going to work. So the character comes when we allow Guru into our lives, and when we get chiseled. Oh, holy karke hunda hai.
Right.
There is no magic wand.
Absolutely.
That the teachings are there and you will adopt it. But I think particularly in the diaspora, particularly with the younger generation, there is a great, we have great opportunity, and they are hungry for it. It's
Right.
not that they're not hungry for it. They want to know what it is. So it's our job, it's our mission really, to present it in a way which is easy for them to understand, and then it's up to them, each
Right.
one. Bakshish, grace, whatever it is, then, in the hands of Guru.
Absolutely.
We can only do that.
So basically, as you said, that the focus is going to be to involve the youngsters and come to their level and bring the practicalities into focus and then bring it forward. And that's what is required right now, because ultimately we have a lot of knowledge about our gurus. We have a lot of information which is already existing. And keeping their thoughts in mind and then coming forward, that definitely has an impact on them. Over the years now, as you said, that this is going to be the major emphasis, that we are going to use the net to reach the wider audience. So far, what has been the experience? And also, Vaisakhi is coming now.
Right.
And we know about your personal journey also. We had a talk with you earlier where you said that what happened in 84 was a transformation
Right.
period in your life, and then you came forward and started doing the paintings and writings. So now, if you could go on to a personal journey also as to what does Vaisakhi represent to you and how you want to carry on that message to the generations.
So Vaisakhi really, we all know in the Sikh DNA, Vaisakhi we always associated with 1699 or
Right.
the 10th Pacha. We know that. But for me personally, it is these moments of our history, of these monumental things that have happened in our lives, the way these stories have been told to us, these moments have been told. How is it relevant today in my life? Well, Vaisakhi for me is not one day. It is a continuous process. It was interesting. We all know we had the Sarbat Khalsa in 2015, and I was watching this on my computer screen, sitting tucked very warmly in my bed because it was night. And I was shocked at the Sangat that came. I mean, they went through a lot to get there.
Yeah.
And, and when the Mata was passed, their jubilation, and immediately, at that moment for me, it was, oh my gosh, this is what Guru says. If you want to play the game of love, give me your head. The Sangat, they walked. They came there not knowing what would happen to them. Right?
Right.
They played the game of love. Sitting on that cold floor, hard cold floor, and here I am sitting in my bed. It was a moment of really thinking, they and I are one. We are united in spirit for the
Right.
love of Guru. And then my mind immediately went to Vaisakhi when they were the jubilation. I said this was probably what was happening when Pacha brought out the Panj Pyare, right? And this was probably, and I was right there.
Right.
Right there. Now Vaisakhi for me is also a huge transformation. This is when I, was bestowed the gift of Kaur.
Right.
Kaur for me is not just a word. I adopted it. It's part of my consciousness, psyche, everything. And when people ask me, Acha ji, so tusi Kaur to pehle ki sige? What were you before a Kaur? And I pretend I don't understand the question because it's really not a question worth answering.
Right.
But, they probe a little bit more. And then I just say, before Kaur, I was really not someone worth knowing. And that's how I truly feel.
Right.
Because my life began after that. So it's part of who I am, and that core I carry well. And the gifts which Pacha has bestowed on us, the Vaisakhi gifts, actually a pyar di nishani hai. These are all that.
Right.
And so I wear them, I adorn them. It is because I'm in love with that.
Right.
And that's where I want to continue on. So when people ask me, is it relevant, is it important in today's day and age? Kuch bhi nahi important. Jab tak rishta nahi hega. Ek pyar da rishta hega.
Right.
When you're in love, you will do anything. But if you're not in love, then everything becomes a bother.
Right.
So the idea is, how do you make that Vaisakhi, that moment, personal in your life? And this Vaisakhi, and I was speaking to the children before I came, because I also teach. I said, one thing, what is it that you want to have a relationship with Guru about? One thing, don't make it a big thing.
Right.
One thing this year, you say, I want to maybe learn one Shabad, and I really want to understand it, and I want to adopt it in my life. That's your Vaisakhi, because that's your connection. And slowly, slowly you'll get there. Vaisakhi, people say, taking Amrit, oh, it's such a hard thing and bothersome and things like that. But we forget, it's not the ultimate. It's just
The beginning.
It's just the beginning. And then you allow that to become part of you. And so that's what it is. It's not one day and we all get together and celebrate, which is great because as a Panthic level, we want to do that. We want to be with people who
Right.
understand the joy and we want, the jubilation. But I think that self-reflection as a community, we need to really look within ourselves and say, what does this Vaisakhi mean to me personally, at a personal level? And that's what SIKHRI is all about, that personal journey.
Right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.